Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. Here we're going to be talking about comparing Diablo 4, Diablo 2, and Vampire Survivors, and why I think Diablo 4 is more similar to Vampire Survivors than Diablo 2, and just where I think a lot went wrong in terms of the development of D3, D4. So first off, if you don't mind hitting that subscribe button, really appreciate it, helps me out. We had 1,000 subs recently, now we're going to go for 2,000. So, first couple things is, when you're playing Diablo 4, it's especially like when you get into Hell Tides and that sort of thing. This is basically your general gameplay experience. You move around and the monsters just run in a straight line towards your character. There's not really much thought process involved. Really the only equation is, do you have the damage to kill everything either before it touches you, or can you, take a couple hits and then use your potion and heal back up. So Diablo 2 felt like a much more strategic game. Not every monster would just rush at your character in a straight line and try and hit you. There were some monsters, and granted, Diablo 4 has ranged monsters. That's about the only exception to, just running directly at your character. But like even those, their movement, if they move at all, it still doesn't really give any sort of credibility to the monsters that they have any form of like intelligence, if that makes sense to you. So in Diablo 2, there's a lot of monsters that, their direct goal may not have been to just rush your character and hit you. Like you have the shamans who would just resurrect all of the other carvers and that sort of thing. And then you've got the corpse spitters that are going to eat corpses and spit them at you, and then aside from that, they just generally kind of like try and avoid your character. But Diablo 4, really, there's not sort of any unexpected behavior of the monsters. Basically the ranged monsters are going to stand there and shoot at you, and everything else just like Vampire Survivors here. I mean, this could, if you upgraded the graphics, this could just basically be a Hell Tide. Everything is just kind of rushing at you, and you're trying to kill it before it gets to you. So just very basic gameplay in Diablo 4, and one reason why I'm gonna try Season 4 of Diablo 4, but I don't have really too much hope that it's gonna be an improvement, really. I mean, yes, the itemization might not be as bad, and it's like if you have a crap burger and you take the crap out of it, like you still have poop stained bread. Nobody wants to eat that. But kind of what I'm getting at here is the core gameplay of Diablo 4 is just not very good, and when you take a look at that, like even if you make the itemization not as bad, like I said, you still just have like a crap sandwich without the crap in it, and you've got crap stained bread that now you're eating. And that's kind of what I feel like Diablo 4 is going to be like. It's just unfortunate that Blizzard can't figure out what made Diablo 1 and Diablo 2 good and recreate that. And then they can't even make a game that's as like fun to play as something like Vampire Survivors, where you're literally just running around and upgrading your character and killing hordes of monsters. So it's like Diablo 4 has failed on multiple levels, and Diablo 3 I think was the same way. And while I'll give Blizzard some credit for improving Diablo 3, over the span of, 5 or 10 years, it still just doesn't live up to what Diablo 2 and even Diablo 1, were in terms of like genre-defining games. And I even replayed Diablo 1 within the last couple years, like a full playthrough, just to relive and re-experience it and see, how much of this game's enjoyability was just nostalgia, and what actually was the case. And I actually ended up enjoying my Diablo 1 playthrough more than I would say most games that I've played in recent memory. It's just it was just so far ahead of its time. Like the atmosphere, the items, the gear, just like the spells, upgrading your character, the story, the voice acting. It was just really a gem, and years ahead of its time. And then Diablo 2, while there's some things that I think Diablo 1 may have done better than Diablo 2, Diablo 2 greatly improved upon just the overall gameplay, so much so that it became, a worldwide phenomena. And that's not something really that can be said about Diablo 3 or even Diablo 4. I mean, both games had just huge problems at launch. I mean, if your game more or less dies out after a month, to me that's a failure. Especially when you're riding the hype train of, being a Diablo sequel. And like I'm saying, this Vampire Survivors has almost more to offer in terms of like a monster slaying experience than Diablo 4. I mean, when I think about the different builds available in Diablo 4, it's just not good. Like there's nothing, even though I'm like kind of interested and curious to go check it out and check out the new gear, I'm like there's no build that I'm interested in trying to play. And that's like really kind of sad and disappointing to me that's the case with a Diablo 4 game, or just a Diablo game in general. Like they just can't get the monster slaying right, and they can't get the builds right. They just, they messed up the itemization. There's the story. The first initial playthrough of Diablo 4, I think was good. I enjoyed the first playthrough of the story mode, and then it just kind of ends in what feels, I mean, there's a few characters in there that were really annoying. The little girl, to be specific, and it sounds like she's gonna be, a main ongoing character in the game, which is kind of stupid and annoying. I don't really enjoy how your character is just sort of, put in the game as just, I don't really know a good way to describe it. But it's like they try and make your character out to just be like the savior of the world, and that's not, in my opinion, what a Diablo game is supposed to be. Like in Diablo 1 and Diablo 2, you failed to save anything. Like Diablo 1, the main mission of your character is to try and save the Prince Albrecht, from Diablo. Then you come to find out after you kill Diablo that he's possessed by Diablo, and he's dead. You take the soul stone out, and then you thrust the soul stone into your own forehead. So, not basically you have failed. Like you fell right into Diablo's trap. You thought you were successful, and then you learned out that no, you actually failed, and now you've made Diablo stronger than he than he was before. And then Diablo 2 is just the continuation of that story, and it's just masterfully told. Through, you know, like the cinematics and through Maurice, like through the tale of the character Maurice and the conversation he's having with the robed figure in the insane asylum, you know, and then at the end you find out that he's just given the soul stone to Bale, and he was not, you know, who he assumed to be Tyrael that he was talking to the whole time was actually Bale. And again, he's failed at the only thing, you know, he failed at his mission. He couldn't take the soul stone to the Soul Forge because he was too afraid. And then he ended up, you know, giving the soul stone to Bale, just further, you know, increasing how much he failed at his mission. He's just done, you know, sort of doomed the world and then dies. You know, so it's just a very dramatic and, you know, fated end to that character. And then we go into Diablo 3, and it's like, oh, you're the Nephilim, blah. And you're just like this unstoppable, you know, force of nature that, you know, angel and demon can't do anything about. It's like, well, you're just supposed to be a human, you know, like a weak human. Why are you so strong compared to basically what are the demigods of the world, of the universe? And you just are kind of like crapping on them like no tomorrow. Just kind of silly. And then we get to Diablo 4, where they sort of did away with the whole Nephilim thing, and so, you know, I was at least happy that it wasn't as silly as that in Diablo 3. But, you know, now you're just sort of like along for the ride, and the storytelling is just like your character, but you have no choice in any action. You're just along for the ride, but your character is somehow like at the center of the story. And, you know, having dealings with all of these supernatural beings, but, you know, again, you have like no choice in anything, and there's this stupid little girl that's, you know, at the center of the story for no reason. Just, you know, just kind of silly. And then your build options don't fulfill the fantasy that you would like them to. The monster slaying's not so good. The itemization's not so good. I mean, like at the end of the day, it's just very, very sad, very unfortunate. And like I was saying before, I think Vampire Survivors is, you know, almost a better monster slayer than Diablo 4. And then Diablo 4 just doesn't have like the builds and the itemization and the gameplay to live up as a successor to Diablo 1 and Diablo 2. So it just leaves so much to be desired. Hopefully the patch will be better than I think it's going to be, but I mean, Blizzard, the name of the game for them is just let down after let down. And the next expansion, like, I just don't know if it's really going to improve on much. It's going to be like another $100, and then they're going to be trying to fix the game for who knows how long, after they add in a bunch of new things that they just aren't very good at testing. And, you know, just sadly Blizzard is not what it used to be. They're just full of like, they're just basically, you know, pushing an agenda, and that's really the only thing that's important to them from my perspective, is agenda over gameplay, profits over, you know, player base. And hopefully we'll oh my gosh. Alright, well, but yeah, we'll probably go ahead and end the video here because I think I've kind of hit on everything that I wanted to hit on. Hopefully Diablo 4 will be better after this patch, but I just don't really see it doing a lot for the game. Like there's going to be more to do with your gear, and there's going to be, oh, I forgot I have a revive. There's going to be more to do with your gear than there was previously, but like if the core gameplay kind of sucks still, I don't really see it being much of an improvement, you know what I mean? So there's just no really good characters or builds in the game. Like the skill tree sucks. It's really sad. Like I don't understand how they can screw it up so bad. It's like everything that was good from when I was younger, it's just purposefully being like ruined and subverted. Now they've come for Warhammer 40k. That's kind of a topic for another video, but anything that could be considered, enjoyable to, normal people is just being subverted for the message and the agenda. And nothing is just made like to be good or cool anymore. It's all gotta be, subverting expectations and pushing certain agendas. Man, can I kill this guy? What is that? Yeah, we got two more days till patch or the season 4 starts, and hopefully, it's gonna exceed our expectations. But we'll just have to kind of wait and find out. Did I kill the boss? I can't even see him anymore. Try and get this egg thing. Not really sure what it does. Level up. Yeah, I mean, I can't really say that the Diablo 4 gameplay is better than Vampire Survivors. that's that's not a good thing. I mean, I would definitely say Diablo 2 is better, but I don't know about Diablo 4. Oh man, that's a big chest. All right. And one of the biggest things I think that Diablo 4 and Diablo 3 did wrong is just adding in cooldowns. If anything has a cooldown in a, Diablo game, PoE style game, if it's more than like 1 second, it just feels bad, and it feels like a dead skill slot, especially when you have limited skill slots. I mean, there's more going on the screen right now in this than in your typical Diablo 4 fight. I mean, Diablo 3, possibly, there's a lot of colors on the Diablo 4 screen at the same time, so I can't really say that it's got more going on than Diablo 3, but it's, it's at least the same or on par with Diablo 3. Diablo 4, it's just, very, very almost boring, like blah kind of playstyle, because you're just kind of spamming the same move over and over. Like, the resources are bad. I mean, the only resource that doesn't feel bad is, like, mana, and I don't understand why they feel like they need to change mana and make these individual resources for every class. I mean, just think of how much time in the development that they've wasted in D3 and D4 on trying to come up with, like, unique resources for every class. And, like, why? What point does that serve, like, in terms of gameplay? And how much more difficult does that make balancing the game and actually developing content? Because now you have to think of how you're gonna, influence items, how you're gonna balance individual class resources, and it's just really, really just bad design. I mean, just one resource type is more than fine, and then it lets you just focus on developing other content for the game. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea in Diablo 3, and why they thought that it would be smart to continue it into Diablo 4 when there's no like positive to it. And in my opinion, it like makes the barbarian class almost unbearable to play. I think that's why in Diablo 2 the barbarian feels so much better, because you don't have to sit there and like try and build up resource to actually do one attack like you do in D3 and D4. Like, this is what I want out of a Diablo game. I just want to be blowing up tons of monsters, and I want to feel powerful. I don't feel powerful in Diablo 4. You know, it just feels like you're abusing, like, the only times I felt powerful, I felt like I was abusing, like, gimmicky mechanics, like shielding, and cooldown resetting abilities on the druid in the first, in the first, you know, vanilla launch of the game season. I was playing a Trample Slide Druid with like the resetting passive on cooldowns, so I could basically have like perma shield and everything just synergized so well. It was like it felt broken. And then it was not a huge surprise to me when they nerfed it. You know, it wasn't like a massive nerf, but it still didn't feel good. Oh man, I got mechs in the game now. Well, giant mechs. Dang, how many levels up did I get here? Jeez. A lot of XP. I guess it doesn't... Oh, I'm level 61, okay. I think, really, for them to fix Diablo 4, they need to redo completely, probably, the skill tree. I just don't know if they're going to do that. Like, where's the Diablo 4 equivalent of this, where I'm just like nuking everything on the screen and feeling powerful? Uh-oh. Oh, did we unlock a character? Alright, we unlocked a Contra character. Let's go. They have like a Contra crossover expansion that just came out, so... But yeah, I mean, the power fantasy in Diablo 4 is just not there. In Diablo 2, you felt that power fantasy with every class. You know, when you had your build and your gear, like you could feel just overpowered. And in Diablo 4, I just don't really think it's there. Like if you're playing, yeah, it's just not there. And they need to fix that. And having stuff on long cooldowns, maybe with the new gearing, like the cooldowns will be better, because I think you can get really high cooldown reduction. And maybe if, you know, but it's just stupid. Like, why have it in the first place? In my opinion, it's just stupid. Alright, I guess that's the only thing left. There is the upgrade. Ooh, this big old dino. Dino boy. Was that a nuke? Yeah. Ooh. Even the gear in this is better than Diablo 4. Go see what this thing is up here. Ooh, alright. Oh, I don't remember what that does. I thought it would tell me the description. Alright. Go. It's getting kind of hairy. Oh, cooldown reduction, alright. That's legit. Die! Let's go! Let's go! Come on, Diablo 4, where you at? Where you at, Diablo 4? Spice. My dune, my Arrakis. Give me that spicy breath. Gold fever. I wonder if that's like a quest. I want to try and get over there, but see if my shield can hold. Oh yeah. Now we're talking, now we're talking. Where is that? Having a hard time seeing where the power-ups are. There we go. I forget if the final boss spawns at 30 minutes. I'm thinking that's the case. It's been a while since I played this game. Oh, I can't go there? Oh, there's like a doorway or something. There it is. Alright. Oh, goodness. Okay, we're gonna run for it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And 25 gold. Always big. My gosh, how many times did I level up? Okay. Let's go. This is a better boss than any Diablo 4 boss. Uh-oh. Oh, I can walk up the wall? What? Uh-oh, uh-oh. Let's go. Alright, I'm sure there's gotta be a phase 2. There's no way. There's no way it's that easy. Should I walk over here? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Uh-oh. Oh! What? What? Let's revive. Okay. Oh, cash over, leftover revives. Okay. Alright. Alright, boys. So, we got 7 unlocks. I guess we're gonna go ahead and end that video here. I'm standing by what I'm saying. I think that this is a better game than Diablo 4, so let me know what you think about that down in the comments. Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for watching, and remember to give them the D.